Alright guys, how's it going? So I just wanted to give you a quick little breakdown on what good quality calories versus bad quality calories are, and also just give you a little breakdown into what a calorie is. What is a macronutrient, what's a fat, what's a protein, what's a carbohydrate. So let's get into it. So what's a calorie? A calorie is basically the way that we measure the amount of energy that is in certain foods. Now the way it relates to macronutrients is essentially a calorie is made up of all of the different macronutrients. Now the three macronutrients that we have are going to be your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins. Now that's why you hear a lot about your fats, your protein, low fat, low carb, especially in today's day in society. So I just kind of want to give you a little bit of insight into exactly what that is, because it's very, very important that you understand what these things are so that you can best set yourself up for the future. So let's go ahead and get into the first one, carbohydrates. That's my favorite one, and I like to start with it because essentially, I guess just a basic breakdown of all three of them, they're energy sources. They're basically break down into the different types of energy sources that your body pulls from these foods. So let's start with a carb. A carbohydrate is our body's first choice of energy source. The reason for that, it's very easily for us to process carbohydrates into energy. Carbohydrates break down into a simple sugar called glucose. Glucose is what our body uses for energy. So just kind of a big breakdown, or just a general overview, don't demonize carbs. Today's society has a really strong, feeling against carbs, where they tell you low carb this, low carb that, that'll help you lose weight. Now, it's not necessarily the low carb that you should be shooting for, it's the quality of carbs that you really should be focusing on. Now, the reason I say that, now if you're gonna be eating a lot of bad quality carbs, that, for example, is going to break down very quickly. And when it breaks down very quickly, it breaks down into sugar very quickly. So your body's gonna get a surplus of sugar, a surplus of energy. Now, if your body can't break that down within a certain amount of time, depending on your metabolism, it's gonna be forced to store it as energy later, which is just fat. So when you're eating a lot of, bad quality calories, sugary things that break down into sugar very quickly, it's not really allowing or enabling your body to distribute that food. It's essentially just saying, here's this excess of energy. If you can't use it, I'm gonna have to store it as fat. So that's the first one, carbohydrates. I just don't demonize them. As long as you're getting good quality carbohydrates, you don't have to live at under 20 grams a day. So then following on to the next one, let's go ahead and talk about fats. So fats are essentially, they're the body's next source of energy. It's the next easiest for our body to process into energy, but our body uses fats for a lot of different things, and the main thing that it uses it for is brain function. Our bodies need a lot of healthy fats in order to support our brain function. So just to reiterate, fat isn't literal fat. It's not something that translates right to fat on your body. When you're eating fat, your body uses that for brain function, it uses it for muscle development, it uses it in many different ways. It's not just being transferred directly to the fat on your body. So if something is high in fat, that's when you can question yourself. Is it good quality? Is this a processed food? Because if it's processed, something like nacho cheese, it's not gonna have a lot of good quality nutrients in it. And that's most likely just gonna lead to the stored fat on your body. But then take something like an avocado, for example. Avocados have a lot of healthy fats in them. Now when you eat that, it's gonna support your brain function and gonna really kind of compensate for that energy that you could be lacking if you're eating low carbs. All right, moving on to the last one, protein. So protein, everybody knows a lot about, or they think they know a lot about. So essentially, protein is going to be our body's last source of energy. Now, it's not because it doesn't have a lot of energy in it. It's just because our bodies need protein for a lot of different things. Cellular procedures, muscle development. There's so many things that, our bodies need protein for, so we'd rather use it for that than use it for energy. So what protein can really help you out with when it's kind of coming to weight loss is it's essentially going to really help you with that recovery. When you're going to be introducing a lot of different, exercise, elevated activity, and just the natural stress that comes with, the process of bettering yourself. The protein's really going to help you with that recovery. Eating a lot of really good quality protein is going to help you with soreness, make sure that you're able to go back that next week and hit it just as hard in the gym or whatever form of exercise you like. All right, so here we go with the recap. We got your carbohydrates, we got your fats, and we have your proteins. Now these are the energy sources that go into making up a calorie. Now for example, a protein, that's what you use for your muscles. Your fats, that supports a lot of really healthy brain function. And your carbohydrates, it's our body's first source of energy. So taking into consideration all of these things, you're gonna really need to look for the best quality source of all three of them. Because I feel like a lot of people are they're too focused on the amount of carbs, the amount of fat, the amount of protein, when they could really start seeing some really consistent quality results if you start focusing on the quality. Go for the least processed option. Don't go to the fast food. Cook everything yourself. Get control over the amount of sodium, the amount of sugar, and the types of ingredients that you're using. That type of stuff is going to basically allow your metabolism to learn how to distribute nutrients very efficiently and effectively. And that's going to set you up for success.